Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. While it is still 2021 technically, today it is time to make the very first prediction for the 2022 season. The ATP Cup will be the first tournament to get officially underway, and being arguably one of, if not the most exciting tournament of the season, it has its early prediction here in the channel. As you all know, the ATP Cup is the ATP's only teams event, played at the beginning of the season rather than at the end, as it is the case of the modern Davis Cup finals. This season it will be played in Sydney and not in multiple cities as it has been in the past. Anyway, having said all this, let's jump straight to the first prediction of the season for this 2022 ATP Cup. So here we have the four groups of this 2022 ATP Cup, each made up of 4 teams. As mentioned before, the whole competition will be played in Sydney, and the leader of each of the groups will qualify for the semi-finals. As it has been for the previous 2021 edition, this is a smaller version of the tournament, unlike the one held in 2020, which was the inaugural one. Moreover, there have been a lot of withdrawals lately due to COVID, as it is the case with Nadal, Rublev and Shapovalov, for example. And we must not forget about Djokovic's withdrawal either. All of this is of course at the moment of recording, but given the current pandemic situation, we might have some more unfortunate news. Anyway, let's go to the interesting stuff and get the prediction itself started. Let's get started with Group A, which as you can see is headed by Serbia, which without Novak is not such a strong team. Along Serbia we have Casper Ruud's Norway, Christian Garin's Chile, and Spain, which will be led by Bautista Agut this time. As you can see, with the withdrawal of Djokovic and Nadal, the group gets quite open. There is no such dominating team, though one can arguably say that Spain has the strongest team considering Djokovic's pullout. To start with, I don't really think either Norway or Chile are threats to Serbia or Spain. While their number one players are decent, especially Casper Ruud after the magnificent 2021 season he has had, the rest of both teams are pretty weak. Even though surprises can happen, I don't think Norway nor Chile will make it to the semi-finals. On to Serbia versus Spain now. I think both teams have the same problem, given that they don't have a solid doubles team among their players. This is what usually happens to Serbia, but Spain does not have any doubles team on their team this year either. The most important matches will probably be the singles one, of course, and on that regard, I believe that Spain has the strongest team of the two, with Bautista Agut and Carreño Busta over Lajovic and Krajinovic. That will be my pick for Group A, taking Spain to qualify for the semi-finals. On to Group B now, we got a pretty interesting one, headed by the defending champions and arguably strongest team, Russia, accompanied by Italy, Austria and the exciting Australian team. This will definitely be an interesting group to watch. Starting by Russia, they are the recent Davis Cup champions, but they will not be playing with their full team, given that Andrei Rublev has got COVID and so will not be able to play, and Karen Khachanov is not on the list. While he might be the one replacing Rublev, that is something unknown so far, Italy, on the other hand, will have its full team at their disposal, with Berrettini, Sinner, Sonego, Bodelli and Fonini. Just Musetti missing. Austria, which qualified thanks to Dominic Thiem, will not have its leader and will be Denis Novak who will be leading the team, while Australia will not have Nick Kyrgios, but it will be Deminor, Duckworth, Purcell, Pearce and Saville representing the green and gold. Austria is the first team I would discard due to their lower level than the rest, to be honest, but out of the other teams it could be any, actually. Australia would be the second team I would eliminate, because in spite of their home advantage and great fighting spirit, I don't think they have the team to make it through. With Russia and Italy remaining, I will go with a bold pick here and pick Italy to qualify for the semi-finals. Actually, they did have a really solid ATP Cup last season, and this year they do have the team to repeat that. While Medvedev might win all of his singles matches for Russia, it will probably be Karatsev stepping in for the number 2 singles, and I genuinely think that Sinner will be able to beat him. And then, onto the deciding doubles match, Italy will have the strongest doubles team to make it through to the semi-finals. Time for Group C now, which might be considered the toughest one. Germany, Great Britain, Canada and the United States make up this very interesting one. Interestingly enough, all of the teams have their best lineups at their disposal, except for the United States, which is missing Opelka and Tiafoe, but still has a pretty solid team headed by Fritz and Isner. Added to that, we must remember that Denis Shapovalov tested positive for COVID upon his arrival in Australia, so he will probably not be playing this tournament. So what is the panorama for this group then? Still pretty much the same, really even among all of the teams. Being completely honest, it could be any of the teams making it to the semi-finals, as all of the number 1 and number 2 singles players are so tight among themselves, and so are the doubles pairs, which all of these teams have. I will pick Germany just because they have Zverev, who is the strongest out of all of the singles players in the group, and their doubles team with Krawiec and Puets is also very good. But honestly, it could be any of these teams making it through. Make sure not to miss the action on this group. Finally, we got Group D. Greece, Poland, Argentina and Georgia are part of this group, which is arguably the weakest one, given that all of the teams have a very strong number 1 player, but then the rest of the teams are not really strong. If we take into consideration which one of the teams is the strongest, I would say Argentina, as they do have players with experience on tour, even though they might not be on their prime or may not be hardcore players. But honestly, there is not much going on in the other teams, with Greece and Georgia having just Tsitsipas and Basilashvili respectively, and then Poland having Hurkacz and Mahraj as a, let's say, decent number 2 player. Argentina on the other hand has Schwartzman and then Delbonis, not on his prime but with a lot of experience on tour, Coria with some experience as well and with a great fighting spirit, and then a solid doubles pair with Gonzalez and Molteni. That being said, they are my pick for the last spot of the 2022 ATP Cup semi-finals. At this point, we already have our 4 semi-finalists: Spain, Italy, Germany and Argentina. According to how the draw is designed, the winner of Group A, Spain, will be facing the winner of Group D, Argentina, in the first one of the semi-final ties, while in the other semi-final we will have the winner of Group C, Germany, against the winner of Group B, Italy. Having said this, time to get this prediction finished now. Semi-final 1, Spain versus Argentina. Analyzing both of the teams, we could say that Spain has the more solid team, with Bautista Agut and Carreño Busta on the singles, but Argentina does have Schwartzman and a decent doubles pairing as well with Gonzalez and Molteni. The key of this semi-final is probably going to be the match between Schwartzman and Bautista Agut, considering that Carreño Busta will probably win the number 2 singles and the Argentine doubles pair are set to win their match, given that Spain does not have any double specialists on their team this time. So, it would all come down to Bautista Agut versus Schwartzman. Both of the times they played on hard courts, it was the Spaniard who won, on very tough matches by the way. Being a very tough choice to make, on what it will be a very tough match probably, I will pick the Spanish team to play the 2022 ATP Cup final. Time for semi-final 2 now, facing the winner of Group C, Germany, and the winner of Group B, Italy. To be honest, I really like the Italian team and genuinely think they will give a lot to talk about in the near future. However, there is one main doubt I have about them in this competition, that is the state of Matteo Berrettini. Having retired from the last event of 2021 in a really unfortunate situation, we have not seen much from him since then. On the other side of the net, he is very likely to have Alexander Zverev, who I think is very likely to get that point. But then again, Italy has got Sinner as their second singles player, while Germany has Struff. If we guide ourselves by logic, it would all come down to the doubles match. For some reason, something tells me it will be Germany who will win this tie and make it to the finals, but it will certainly be an interesting one to watch. So, we made it. Finals time. So far, we got Spain versus Germany for the title. The first match of the tie would be the number 2 singles, which ideally would be played by Carreño Busta and Struff. We will have to see what form he's in, but my pick for that one would be Carreño Busta in a normal situation. Right after that match, Bautista Agut and Zverev would jump on court. While I think Bautista Agut is one of the most underrated players on tour, and he's genuinely a great player, we gotta accept that Zverev is easily one of the top 3 players at the moment. We will have to see how he gets this new season started, but I would pick him over the Spaniard. Eventually, the tie will be defined in the doubles match. As mentioned a lot of times before, the importance of having a solid doubles pairing in the team is vital, and Spain does not have one this year. On the other hand, Germany has Krawietz and Puetz, who already have some experience playing together for their country. That might be the key for this 2022 ATP Cup final, and give Germany the title. In my opinion, it will be Germany who will win their first ever ATP Cup at the start of the 2022 season. With my prediction done, I would like to hear from you now. Who do you think will win the 2022 ATP Cup? Do you agree with my predictions? I will be reading your comments, for sure. As you all know, this is just a prediction, so anything can happen. Luckily, we can always expect the unexpected in this sport, which is part of what makes it so great. Only time will tell how this tournament will unfold, but this is my best shot at a prediction for it. So, it's time to wrap up this video now. I hope you have enjoyed this first prediction for this new season and that you like this format with voiceovers that I do for certain tournaments throughout the year. If you have made it to this point, thank you very much for watching until the end. I wish you a very happy new year if you are watching this before the start of the tournament, but also if you're watching it once 2022 has already started. Again, hope you have enjoyed this video, leave a like if so, and subscribe if you don't want to miss any of the other predictions for the 2022 season. As you know, we make predictions for every single ATP tournament, so you can expect some new predictions for the other Australian swing tournaments very soon. Stay tuned, on to the next one!